Grand Rising loved ones, welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, your favorite spiritual advisor, Empress Oracle. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about soul contracts. A lot of people probably don't know what they are, so I'm going to clear it up so you can maybe get an understanding as to your purpose in people's lives or people's purpose in your lives, and maybe it'll help you to just have some ease and some understanding during times of separation. Okay? So, me personally, growing up as a Christian, I always recall that back in the day in church, my pastor would tell us how our names were written in the Lamb's Book of Life before we came here on earth, before we're born. I know a lot of people in Christianity, I know you've heard that before. So basically, they were saying that our life was already planned and written out before we were born. They would say that the Lord knows everything. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Whatever religion or whatever you believe in, you can transfer that to that person, that deity, that entity, whatever. But you feel me though, right? You feel me? Yeah. So basically, our souls are older than us. A lot of us are old souls living here, and this is not our first incarnation here on earth or whatever planet, wherever floats your boat. Okay? A lot of people don't believe that. They only want to live in the present and the now, and they only count this life, but that is false. That's why a lot of times a lot of people have fears and traumas and anxieties, and they really have no basis from this lifetime because they've never been in a traumatic experience or anything to where they should have that fear, but they do. A lot of times it's because of something that happened to them in a past life, and that trauma is still connected to their soul as they carry it into this life. So with that being said, a lot of times people who have fears or traumas, it will be magnified in the now, since that is where we are in this lifetime. And a lot of those traumas may be from past lives. And a lot of times people will cross your path who you have a soul contract with, because they are supposed to either trigger you and make you aware of what the issue is, or they're supposed to help you in finding your healing, or they're supposed to heal you. Whatever it is, that happens a lot. And a lot of people may not understand, or they may not realize it, and they think something is wrong with them, or these are unfounded or ungrounded fears. However, that is not the case. It is probably a past life trauma, and it needs to be healed. Now, with these soul contracts here, a lot of times people are put into our lives and you have a soul contract with them. So a lot of times when people are taken from your lives quickly, either tragically or from, a terminal illness or something, a lot of times you guys have a soul contract. If they make a severe impact in your life, that you were very close to them, whether they were family, a friend, a significant other, and the loss of them or their death impacts you in a way that it has the power to change your life, the magnitude to change your life, such as the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all of those other people who have lost their lives. Nipsey Hussle, may they all rest in peace. That all of those people had soul contracts. The fact that they triggered everybody and moved our souls and made us react so passionately, that was a part of their soul contract. Okay? Now, however, a lot of you probably are like, Empress, no. Can't be that. Why would they choose to have a contract and cut their life short, and they have all this blessings and experience XYZ? But what we don't understand is, before we come here on earth, when we are making these soul contracts and these agreements, we're in the now then, should I say. Our energy, our soul, our spirit is thinking then. So we don't have the emotional attachments and ties that we have to people here on this physical plane until we are actually born and build those relationships and bonds. Our souls may recognize them, but that bond, that connection, it does not culminate on the tangible or physical feel until you are born. And when it does, and your spirit recognizes these people, you take it hard. But what a lot of people don't realize is your higher self knows that their soul lives on regardless. We are all made up of energy. So whether their physical form is here or not, our higher self understands and knows that that person's soul, energy, presence lives on, because energy never dies. Period. It may spread out, it may come together, it may thicken, but it never dies. Oh, my chair sounding like my knees and shit. You heard that? But anyway, yes. And sometimes you have to recognize the end of a soul contract for what it is. Okay? Whether a person leaves your life willingly, traumatically, it doesn't necessarily have to even be through death. It could be through long-term incarceration, anything. You are supposed to step back and learn from the experience and the times that you had with that person, and you're supposed to cherish whatever those moments were, and you're supposed to take a lesson from that experience, okay? And that person, that energy, that spirit should give you whatever it is that you needed to complete this life cycle, okay? And release those fears, those traumas, whatever, and complete your soul purpose and your higher purpose. That's something that we have to understand. Everything that's happening right now in the world, all of this, these changes and stuff, all of this had to happen. It had to happen. What people don't understand is there's a thing called the circle of life. What goes around comes around. Regardless of what religion that you believe in or whatever you believe in, 9 times out of 10, there was always, in stories of times of old or of past, there were always stories of cycles, okay? Illnesses, wars, tragedies, all types of things that shook that society or those times and made those people draw to those entities or those gods or those deities. Alrighty? That's what you guys have to understand. So a lot of these souls came here because we might not look at it that way right now, because they had to sacrifice their lives and it's traumatic. But on the spiritual realm or a higher realm, they are looked at as gods. They have done the ultimate. They have sacrificed. They have completed purposes. They have changed people's lives. They have awakened people. They have opened people's eyes. Alrighty? That's what they've done. They have sparked change. They have planted seeds in people. They have done their job and their purpose. Unfortunately, for some people, it was cut short, because a lot of these people were not meant to die tragically or their lives to be cut short. They probably, 9 times out of 10, the way that their purpose was supposed to be fulfilled should have been another way, but still on a large plane. However, sometimes when your life is going one way and your purpose is bigger than it, a catalyst has to enter. Okay? A lot of times people have purposes and they may not fully be walking in it. And therefore a catalyst has to enter. And the chips, they fall where they may, but the end result will still be great. It still will be great. It'll be greater than the hurt. It'll be greater than the loss. And it will be greater than the pain if handled appropriately and accepted appropriately. And that is what we all need to understand. Okay? People are living out their soul contracts right now. And people are starting and entering into new soul contracts right now. Sometimes you have to recognize when it is the end of a soul contract between you and another in order to enter into a new contract. You cannot start a new life. You cannot start a new contract if you have not closed the old deal. What kind of business is that? Who do that? It's not the way it goes. So sometimes when you have people in your lives and you care for them greatly, or you've learned a lot, or you experienced a lot with them, and you may see that the time is over, or something. It's time for change. You may feel the need for change. But, there's that thing called comfort. It happens. People get comfortable when they've known something for a long time and they're not willing to end that soul contract. And then the catalyst has to enter. A catalyst has to enter to end that contract in order to force you into your higher purpose because you got comfortable. You know what I mean? See what I said? No, so no, that's not what I said. Yeah. So, once the end of that contract comes and both parties are alive, thank God, or whoever, take the lesson from the experience, take the blessing from the experience, move on, make room for the next contract, accept your higher purpose, follow your path, understand that all things must come to an end. What goes around comes around, a circle of life. But that does not mean that it's bad. It may look bad, but when you look back at it, you be like, oh, I see why this had to happen. That's what we all need to understand in order to make change. So hopefully I was at least able to touch on a few points to help you guys to delve deeper into the understanding of your soul, reincarnation, and soul contracts that you may have with yourself, or even others. Alrighty? Everything happens for a reason. Everything. Everything. And energy lives on. You can change it. The negative events that have happened in the world, the deaths of all these people, these loved ones, whether they were famous or not, they were all loved ones. They were all loved ones. All of this happened in order to create change, to spark change. Transmute this negative energy into something positive because they're watching, okay? They sacrificed their physical bodies so that they could be spiritual guides for us, so we could transmute this negative energy here on this world and make the change. Alrighty? Guys, remember that. Alright? And stop fighting. Gotta work together. With that being said, love you guys.